There's a crack in the mirror, making it clearer.
Well, hello and welcome back to Producer Dan. I'm Dan. Thanks for stopping by my channel. So today we're doing video number 4 of a series of videos that I'm doing of producing songs by my friend and artist Vicky. The song is called Picasso. If you've been following my channel and watching my videos, you'll know that these are probably my more popular videos, and if you've been watching them, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And so you will not be disappointed by this song, I promise. Now, you heard a little bit of the finished song and the intro of this video, but I'll play you the raw tracks first, just so you know where I began with the song. She sent me 4 tracks: a lead vocal track, her rhythm guitar track, a lead guitar track, and drums done by our friend Wade Bragg, who did drums in her previous songs as well. So I'll play you the raw tracks now.
There's a crack in the mirror, making it clearer. Picasso face shines back at you. It's been a long time since you've really seen yourself. There's a break in the glass, causing a flash, a misperception of the truth. It's been a long time, it's been a long time. Every time you think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes. Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize,
Okay, so the first thing I got when I listened to this, to the raw tracks, was Mary Chapin Carpenter. So I immediately went and listened to some of those old records, and I also put on a little bit of alternative Alanis Morissette, just to get myself into a mood of doing a song something like that. And it really did lead me down kind of a crossover alternative country kind of song. I was so happy to get this from her because it's something I hadn't heard her do before. So I was very happy about that and excited. And I'll play you the finished song now and show you the recording process of that. And then I'll meet you after in Pro Tools and I'll show you a little bit of how we got to the finished product.
There's a crack in the mirror, making it clearer. Picasso face shines back at you. It's been a long time since you've really seen yourself. There's a break in the glass, causing a flash, a misperception of the truth. It's been a long time, it's been a long time. Every time you think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes. Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize, to verbalize. You were torn to the core, you wanted more of everything that life could bring. It's been a hard time, but you did the best you could. You were left all alone, out on your own, but you still had a voice to sing. It's been a hard time, it's been a hard time. Every time you think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes. Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize, to verbalize. Everything around me says to keep searching, keep trying, oh. And every answer that I got just left me yearning, mystified me, oh. If only I could find a way to take the time to satisfy this crazy soul of mine. This grip in the scene of what it all means. It's up to you to find the thread. Make up your own mind, make up your own mind. Think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes. Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize. Oh, every time you think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes. Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize.
Okay, so here we are in the Pro Tools session for Picasso, a song by Vicky Andres. And I guess we'll just start with the opening guitar, which is Vicky's track. She did send a very nice rhythm guitar track. I love the sound of it. Here it is. So I also joined in with a strumming of an acoustic guitar and I believe an electric guitar there. It hits just that once and then it cuts out until later on in the song. I did some intentional editing, like I piled all the instruments on all the guitars throughout the entire song, and then while I was mixing it, I went in and muted some things. For example, the twang guitar, which is this guitar. That comes in later in the song, and then here's the distorted guitar that comes in later in the song. Those come in the second intro. So I gave a kind of a medium intro with instruments, number-wise, and then cut the first verse down to minimal. I still wanted a lot going on, but, excuse me, I'm getting warm. I still wanted a lot going on, but not much. I wanted the song to build as we went through. And I think I was pretty effective in that. As you can see, there are a lot of instruments. I have, starting with the drums, there's a center drum track and then a left and a right, which I don't use very much until the very end, ironically, where he actually does a tom roll, but he doesn't do any toms throughout the entire song. He just rides the snare, which is effective and lots of energy there. But I did have to set up those tracks just for that one little tom roll at the end, which I thought was funny. So I guess while we're on the drums, what I wanted to show you is the compression. Just some light compression, and I'll show you the difference that it makes. See that it's working about 3 dB. Doesn't do much. But what it does is I have set the attack, I wouldn't say late, but not fast, rather late, enough for it to get the transient on that snare to hit, and then the compression comes in and gives it a bit of a tail. So here's with, here's without. It boosts those transients and keeps everything at a nice level balance. Now with the drum compression auxiliary track, this is really like a distortion track. Really, it's overly compressed drums, which I add just a little bit of that sound on top of the drums overall. Here's what that sounds like. You hear how that, it's just very compressed. You wouldn't want that to be necessarily the sound for the drums, but when you add that on top, you can give a little bit of further compression and control that a bit more. Then I have a room reverb that I'm using for the drums, and that's very basic and it's almost inaudible. I'm using so little of it, but I thought, well, let's make him sound like he's at least in a room. So that's what we've done there. Okay, so here's the drums without the reverb. Here's with. Without. With. So it's very, very subtle, but it does give a bit of a room, and that's what we've done here. So I guess I wanted to maybe talk about the different guitar sounds that I do have. We've got this twangy guitar. And I guess I can show you the EQ and the difference that it makes. I don't record my guitars with a lot of low end because I know I'm going to take it off anyway, but I also, just to be sure, roll off any rumble. This is what it sounds like with and without the added EQ. So that's with and without. With. Without. You can hear the added bass. Now, if it was just this guitar and drums and bass, you might not want to roll off that low end. You might want to keep it. But if you've got multiple guitars, as we do here, I've got 2 acoustics and 3 rhythm guitars all happening at the same time. You want them to stand out separately on their own without piling up a bunch of low end here at the bottom. And also, it's important to note here, it doesn't really matter what the guitar sounds like by itself. It matters what the guitar sounds like in the mix. This may sound like a thin sound, but it's really only there to add rhythm and percussion and not bass and rumble. So here's the distorted guitar. I did roll off a lot of the crackle at the top. I will roll this back until I can hear a difference. So I'm not adding any extra in that area because I want to save that for cymbals and the sibilants on the vocals, and that's why I do that. And I've been doing that lately, and I've been happy with doing that. I didn't dare to do it in the beginning. I'm like, no, it's important to have that, but I'll show you an example and see if you miss it. Here's with, without, with. So it adds a lot of clarity. It really takes the mud out. I always roll off the bottom end, but rolling off the top end is kind of a new thing that I learned. So on to the next thing. So I do have two acoustic guitars playing. They're both doing different things, mostly. I have one guitar mainly doing the bump, 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 boom. And the other one is I'm doing a high strum away from the sound hole and high on the neck. So it gives me just this high-end rhythm strumming with not a lot of boom. So here's the one on the left doing the bump. And on the right, I have this guy. So it's kind of getting the best of both worlds on the acoustic guitar and, kind of having them play together and going right and left. So it's on the record, it sounds like maybe one guitar playing, but it's actually 2 pan right and left doing similar things, but one is concentrating on the low end, one's concentrating on the high end. So here is the EQ for those guitars. Kind of severe, but again, it's important what they sound like in the mix with everything else going on. It may sound a little thin, but these guitars are providing more of a percussion rhythm sound rather than a big boomy full rich guitar sound, and so that's why I've done this. Okay, so now I want to show you how I generally treat the vocals, and I'll use Vicky's vocal as an example. I'm using 2 compressors. Here's Vicky's vocal without the double compression.
Every time you think you've got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes.
So you heard that. It's very dynamic. There's a lot of loud and soft moments. I bring in the first compressor and I'll show you what that is doing.
Every time you think you've got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes.
So it's doing most of the work. I just wanted to catch any major peaks, and it does. It'll compress about 6 dB, and so that's why I've put the gain to 6 dB to bring up the soft parts as the compressor brings down the louder parts, and that's how that evens everything out. Some peaks still get through this compressor. This isn't a very hard compression. It's only a 3-to-1 ratio. So that's why it's nice to bring in another compressor to do a little more work after the first compressor, and that's what we've done here. This is what this second compressor is doing. I have it bypassed right now, so.
Every time you think you've got it figured out, it slowly.
Okay.
Every time you think you've got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes.
So you can see this is really compressing at 3 dB, and it's a soft 2-to-1 ratio. Think of it as sandpaper. Like the first sandpaper you use is like 60 or 80 grit, and it takes off the big bumps. And then you come in with like a 200 on top of that to smooth it down. So think of it that way. That's exactly what we're doing here with these 2 compressors. Now we have 2 lead guitars. Vicky provided the first lead solo. I like that this guitar comes in and adds a little bit of grit, which, you know, Vicky's known for that anyway. She's a rocker. So this is a welcome element. And this is one thing we did talk about as far as what to do with a song. She did say that she wanted me to put a second lead in harmony with this one. And that's what we've done. So I wanted to treat Vicky's lead as the lead. You can see there's a little bit of volume difference here. Mine was the harmony, just to come in and add a little bit of difference. Backed off mine just a little bit, much like I did with my vocal. There were parts of the song where I wanted my vocal to be a harmony, and there's parts where I kind of wanted it to be like a joint duet kind of thing. And so I had a lot of fun doing the vocal on this, and here's my track, and then here's Vicky's track, and here's Vicky's double, and then I have 2 more for each of us here. I've made these tracks for the last chorus, where it comes in as kind of a round. I'll play it for you and I'll explain.
Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize. Oh, every time you think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before you.
So you can see what I've done here. All I've done is taken what we have already sung and just repeated it a couple of times.
Every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize. Oh, every time you think you got it figured out, it slowly dissipates before your eyes. And every time you think you get a glimpse of what it's all about, you never get the words to verbalize.
So I was so happy with that when I did it. Now, and it started out small. It started out with me just repeating, using Vicky's voice to repeat every time. And I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of nice. What if I put in my harmony to that? So you've got the harmony happening. I'm like, ooh, what if I double all of those? And what I did was I chose from different parts of the vocal track, and I made sure they didn't match, so they were thicker. So nothing. If you choose the ones that match, they'll cancel each other out, and it won't sound. It won't sound good. You may not even be able to hear it because they'll cancel each other out. So you need to choose the different. The same phrases, but from different parts of the song, so they don't exactly match. And so that's what gives it the width. And I have panned these hard left and hard right. So I've got 2 of Vicky, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 2 of me, 1 to the left and 1 to the right. And they're soft in the background, doing that kind of a roundabout vocal, which I couldn't be happier with. And I was looking for something interesting to do with that third chorus. And I love the direction it took the song. I love the ending it gave to the song. And I have to say that after I did it, I'm like, poof, because I had such high hopes for the song. I liked it so much. And it was something so different from her. And so I'm like, well, let's do something different. And this is different. This last chorus kind of reminds me of the Carpenters a little bit. But I'm okay with that. I'm totally all right with it. I'm here for it. I love it. So that's the song. That's the setup. This was really, really fresh and fun, and I worked hard on it. I have to say, filming all of the different instruments in that, as fun as it is, it is time consuming, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. I'm so glad I have a video record of the stuff that I'm doing. And if you're watching, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'm going to keep going. And be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because I have a goal, rather lofty goal, of getting 1,000 subscribers before March 1st of this year, 2021. So that is an almost impossibility, but if you don't ask, you don't get it. So anyway, thank you again for watching my videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.